all of you have watched the other two videos of part 1 and part 2 of the sample paper. I've already completed solving 30 questions. Now I'm continuing from the 31st question in this video, 31st question of the sample paper. So section B question. So the first question, the equation, the 31st question, the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line segment joining the point. So you have the line segment AB. So if I draw the diagram, it will be more clear for you children. So AB, I have 4, 5 here, I have minus 2, 3 here. The question asked is equation of the perpendicular bisector. Question asked is equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line segment. So the equation of this line is asked in the question. Okay, so let P be a point on this perpendicular. So this is a perpendicular bisector. So let this be a perpendicular bisector, and I have let P be a point on this perpendicular bisector. So if we join, then AP will definitely be equal to BP, because the line is the perpendicular bisector of the points A and B. Okay, so what happened? The perpendicular bisector, when I join A to the point P on the perpendicular bisector, and if I join the point B to the perpendicular bisector, their distances, the distance AP will definitely be equal to the distance BP. So AP is equal to BP. So let me use the distance formula, children. Square root of, let the point P be x comma y. So square root of x minus 4 the whole square plus y minus 5 the whole square equals, the distance BP is going to be x minus of minus 2 is going to be x plus 2 the whole square plus y minus 3 the whole square. So now cancelling square root on either side of the equation, I will have x minus 4 the whole square plus y minus 5 the whole square equals x plus 2 the whole square plus y minus 3 the whole square. So now I can expand this using the identity. I have x square minus 8x plus 16 plus y square minus 10x plus 25. Right hand side I have x square plus 4 plus 4x plus y square minus 6x plus 9. So what happens, student, here? X square, y square on either side of the equation is getting cancelled. Then I have minus 8x minus 10x, which is going to be minus 18x. 16 plus 25, 35 and 41 it is. On the right hand side, what do I have? 4x minus 6x, going to be minus 2x plus 13 plus 9 and 4. So it's going to be plus 13 there. Okay, so minus 18x. So this is, yeah, y square minus 6y this is. So this is going to be a 6y here. And here also it is 10y. So let me do the corrections. So this is 16 plus y square minus 10y. Here I have y square minus 6y plus 9. So now what I have, children? What I have is, let me draw a line here. Okay. So I have minus 8x minus 10y plus 41 on the left hand side. Right hand side, what do I have? I have 4x minus 6y. 9 and 4 is going to be a 13. So now I have minus 8x. When I take minus 8x to the right hand side, it will be plus 8x. So it becomes 12x. So when I take minus 10y to the right hand side, it becomes plus 10y. So 10y minus 6y will be a plus 4y. So 41 minus 13, 7 and so I have here 41, 25, 35, 41, and here it is going to be 4 and 9, so it's going to be 13. So when I bring 13 to the left hand side, it's going to be 41 minus 13. What is 41 minus 13, children? I will be having 11 minus 3, 11 and 9, so it's going to be 8, so it's going to be 2. So I have it like this. So now 12x plus 4y equal to 28 I have. I don't have this in any of the options, which means it's reduced there. So 12x plus 4y equals 28. So I can divide by 4 throughout. 3x plus 4y equals 7. Dividing by 4 throughout. So 3x plus 4y equals 7. So 3x plus 1y. So for dividing by 4. So it's going to be 3x plus y equals 7. So this is the equation I get now. So when I look at the options, it matches with the last option D. So it's 3x plus y. 7 can be taken to the right hand side itself. It becomes minus 7. So option D is the answer, children. Option D. So now I have the 32nd question. D is the midpoint of BC. Then the value of cot y divided by cot x is asked in the question. See, look at y angle. Angle y. What is the y angle here? Y is this entire angle. So look at this y. Y is the whole angle A. But what is angle x? Angle x is a part of angle A. Question asked is cot y divided by cot x. What is cot y, children? Cot y is for the entire angle A, triangle ACB. If I take triangle ACB, in triangle ACB, what is cot y? Cot y is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent by hypotenuse is going to be AC divided by BC. So now in triangle, angle x is there in triangle ACD. In triangle ACD, you can find what is cot x. Cot x will be AC divided by, AC is adjacent, adjacent divided by CD. Okay, so now the question asked is cot y divided by cot x. So what is cot y divided by cot x? AC by BC divided by AC by CD. So what is AC by BC divided by AC by CD? So AC is getting cancelled. So I will be having CD divided by BC. And the question says D is the midpoint. The question says D is the midpoint of BC. So which means CD is half of BC. CD is half of BC. Here BC is than the denominator, CD is than the denominator here. So it is going to be CD by BC, CD by BC, and CD is half of BC. Half of BC by BC. So the answer is going to be what, children? BC will get cancelled. Half will be the answer. 1 by 2 will be the answer. Cot y divided by cot x is going to be 1 by 2. Option B. So now let's go to the next question, children. 33rd question here. The smallest number by which 1 by 13 should be multiplied so that its decimal expansion terminates after 2 decimal places. So terminates after 2 decimal places. So you need to have 100 in the denominator. And for a terminating decimal, so 100 in the denominator, but 13 is there. So you definitely have to multiply 1 by 13 into 13 by 100. Into 13 by 100. So if you do so, you will be getting 1 by 100, which will be 0.01. So the question says terminates, that its decimal expansion terminates after 2 decimal places. So it is terminating. When you look at here, it terminates after 2 decimal places. So by what you have to multiply 1 by 13? You will multiply with 13 by 100. So option A, 13 by 100 is the correct answer. So let's look at the next question. 34th question, sides AB and BE of a triangle. Look at the triangle, children. You have the triangle ABE there. Right angle. The right angle is there at B. And the side AB is of length 16. Side BE is of length 8 centimeter. The length of the largest square. The length of the largest square that can be largest side of the square which can be inscribed in a circle. Basically, the side of the square is asked in the question. So let's take, let the side of the square be x. Let it be x, children. So let BF, FD, all this be x, GD, BG, everything is x. Okay, the side of the square is x there. So now, actually, when you look at the figure there, you know for sure that triangle AFD and triangle DGE are similar. Why? See, because when FD, GB is a square, when FDGB is a square, FD is definitely parallel to BG. So which means FD is parallel to BE. FD is parallel to BE. So which means these angles, the angle here, the angle D here will be equal to angle E here. So and angle A, all these angles, and here angle F is 90 degrees here. This is going to be 90 degrees. This is also 90 degrees. This side you have 90. So it forms a linear pair. Angle G will be 90 there. This angle D will be equal to E. So in triangle, actually triangle AFD is similar to triangle DGE by AA similarity. AA similarity, these two triangles are similar. So triangle AFD is similar to triangle DGE. So when the two triangles are similar, children, you always know that the corresponding sides are in the proportionate ratio. So you have AF divided by DG equals DF divided by GE equals AD divided by DE. So you have it like this. So what is AF? Where is AF? AF is this. AF is going to be 16 minus X. What is DG? DG is here. DG is the side of the square, which is going to be X itself. So let me substitute it, children. AF is 16 minus X and DG is X. What is DF? DF is again X. DF by GE. DF is again X. What is GE, children? GE is 8 minus X. So I have DF, which is X, divided by GE, which is going to be 8 minus X. So now I cross multiply and find the side of the square. Side of the square is the X, which is asked in the question. So 16 minus X multiplied with 8 minus X equals X square. So I have, so when I cross multiply, I get like this. So it's going to be 128 plus plus X square minus 8X minus 16X equals X square. So here again X square and X square on either side will get cancelled, children. So I'm left with minus 8X and minus 16X. What is minus 8X and minus? It's going to be minus 24X. So minus 24X is 128, which means minus 24X equals minus 128. So which means 24X is equal to 128. What is my X here? X is 128 divided by 24. 128 divided by 24. Let me cancel and see what answer I'm getting. 8 3s are 16 by 3 I have. So the largest side, the length of the side of the square which can be inscribed inside the triangle ABE is going to be 16 by 3. 16 by 3 is option B, children. Option B is the correct answer. So now let's move on to the next question. Question number 35. Point P divides the line segment joining the point R and S. So I will draw the line segment and we'll see the point P. So this is the line segment R minus 1, 3 and the point S here 9, 8 and the point P is dividing point B, X, Y. So it's dividing this line segment in the ratio of K is to 1. And if P is lying on the line, so there is one more line. The point P is lying on the line. What is this line? This line is given in the question as X minus Y plus 2. This is the line equation given. So I repeat the question again. Point P. Point P. This is the point P. It divides the line segment in the ratio K is to 1. And this point is lying on another line. So the point P is basically, there's a point P is the intersection of this line and the second line, X minus Y plus 2 equal to 0. Okay, so how are we going to find the value of K from here? What is this point P, children? So the point P, you can use section formula here. The point P has got the coordinates of X and Y. So what is X and Y? What is X value? How do I get it using section formula? K into 9 plus 1 into minus 1 divided by K plus 1. So X comma Y is going to be K into 9. So it's 9K minus 1 into minus 1. So it's going to be minus 1 divided by K plus 1. So the coordinate x comma y of the point P is going to be 9k minus 1 divided by k plus 1. This is the x coordinate. The y coordinate, using the same section formula, it's going to be 8k plus 3. 8k plus 3 divided by k plus 1. So this is the x coordinate, x and y coordinate of the point P. And the question clearly says the point P is lying on this line. So I found the coordinates of the point P. This is lying on this line. Look at the figure here. The point P is lying on x minus y plus 2 equal to 0, which means the point P should satisfy this line equation. The point P should satisfy this line equation. So let me put it. So I have x minus y plus 2 equals 0. X is 9k minus 1 by k plus 1. So this is my x. X is going to be 9k minus 1 by k plus 1 minus y. Minus y will be minus 8k minus 3 divided by k plus 1 plus 2 equal to 0. I just need to take LCM and all that and get the value of k children. So I have 9k minus 1 minus 8k minus 3. When I take LCM, I will have 2k plus 2. The whole divided by k plus 1. The whole divided by k plus 1 equal to 0. So 9k minus 8k is 1k. 1k plus 2k will be a 3k. 3k minus minus 3 minus 4. So minus 4 plus 2. Going to be minus 2 equals 0. So 3k will be 2. K is going to be 2 by 3. K is going to be 2 by 3. 3k equals 2. The value of k is 2 by 3. Question number 36. ABCD is a square. Look at the diagram. Areas related to circles chapter. You have ABCD is a square. The side of the square is given. Where is the square, children? So ABCD. So the side of the square is given as 14 centimeters. And the square is actually divided into 2. So look at that line HF. It's dividing into 2. So I repeat again. In the figure, ABCD is a square of side 14 centimeters with E, G, E, F, G, H are the midpoints of the respective sides. The area of the shaded portion. The area of the shaded portion. Look at the figure properly, children. Look at it properly. You need not go to the difficult way of doing it. When you look at it properly, you will get the easy trick how to solve it. So here the square, the ABCD square is actually divided into 2 by this HF. Okay, and in the first half of the square, you have a semicircle region which is shaded. Second half of the square, you have except the 2 quadrants. In second half, except 2 quadrants, that portion is shaded here. What is the sum of 2 quadrants? Sum of 2 quadrants is again semicircle only. It's again semicircle only. So let me make the equation here. Area of shaded region. What is the area of shaded region? Area of shaded region is equal to area of the semicircle. Look at it, children. You have area of semicircle here. Area of semicircle plus the area of the half of the square. Half of the square minus the 2 quadrants. I repeat again. Area of the semicircle will be first area of the shaded region will be. Area of shaded region is going to be area of the semicircle plus, I'll write it, children, area of semicircle plus below you have half a square. In this half a square, 2 quadrants are not there. In this half a square, except the 2 quadrants, you have the shaded region. So plus area of half square minus area of 2 quadrants minus area of 2 quadrants. So what is it, children? So area of the shaded region is area of the semicircle plus area of half square minus area of 2 quadrants. So area of the semicircle, so again I write it, area, the shaded area is going to be area of semicircle minus plus area of area of semicircle plus area of half square, area of half square plus area of half square minus area of two quadrants. What is this area of two quadrants? All of us know, so this is the two quadrants of a circle. Two quadrants of a circle will make up a semicircle, children, will make up an area of a semicircle. So this is going to be again area of semicircle. So I repeat again, area, shaded area is going to be area of semicircle plus area of half square minus area of semicircle. So here plus area of semicircle and minus area of semicircle is getting cancelled. So you just have to find what is the area of the shaded region. You just have to find area of half of the square. And finding the area of half of the square, you just have to find area of half of the square. Finding area of half of the square is very easy. So half area of the square is side into side. Side of the square is given in the question, children, 14 into 14. Okay, side is 14. So area is going to be 14 into 14. Half of that. So half multiplied by 14 into 14. So it's going to be half of 196. Half of 196. So which will be 98 centimeters square. So when you look at the questions, think properly and try to simplify the process of solving. Anyways, you're doing only MCQs. So yeah, so here you need not find area of semicircle, again find area of two quadrants and all. So instead you should know that the two quadrants is again making up a semicircle only, which is getting cancelled. Plus area of semicircle and minus area of semicircle is getting cancelled. So you only have to find area of half the square to know this area of the shaded portion. So to know this area of the shaded portion, you only need to find area of half of the square. And side of the square is also given in the question. So finding the area of half of the square is very easy. It's going to be 98 centimeters square. So we'll go to the next question, children. Question number 37. Given below is the picture of the Olympic ring. So you have 5 rings there. By taking 5 congruent circles of radius 1 centimeter each. Interesting in such a way that the chord formed by joining the point of intersection of the two circles is also of length 1 centimeter. Total area of the dotted region, assuming the thickness of the rings to be negligible. So when you look at the question, look at the dotted region. So the dotted region is here, 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 here. It is there in 4 places. Okay. So the rings. So if I take the rings here, I can make, what is this rings here? The shaded region. If I look at the shaded region, children, what do I have? Question is asking for the area of the dotted region. So what do I have? Basically, it is a segment. Look at it. You have a chord there and you have the circle, the length of the circumference. You have a length of the arc there. So the region bound by the chord and the length of the arc of the circle is going to be the segment. So you have this segment. I'll shade it and show you. I'll shade it in a different color. I'm using a green color here. So this is the area of the segment for this first circle. So when I look at the second circle, for this the area of the segment is going to be, I'll shade it in a different color, children, this portion, the red color portion. So I have 2 segments there. I have 2 segment regions there. So similarly, if I look at it, I have 2 areas of segments here. Here also I have 2 areas of segments. Here I have 2, here I have 2. So there are totally 8 segments, 8 areas of segments what you have to find the total area of the dotted region. Okay, so 8 multiplied with area of the segment. So that is your answer. So what is the area of the segment? Area of the segment is going to be area of the entire sector. Area of the entire sector minus the triangle. So if you look at the question, the radius of the triangle is also 1. The chord length is also 1. So this is 1 centimeter. This is 1 centimeter. The chord length here. Chord length is also 1 centimeter. So it is an equilateral triangle there. It's an equilateral triangle there. So area of that segment, there are 8 segments in total. Area of one segment is going to be equal to area of the sector minus the area of the triangle. So area of one segment, area of the sector minus area of the triangle. So this triangle, I just told you, it is all the sides equal, so it's equilateral triangle. And the area of the sector, what will be the theta there? Theta is going to be 60 degrees. Theta is going to be 60 degrees. So what is the formula, children, for finding area of the sector? It's going to be theta by 360 into pi r square. Theta is 60 degrees. 60 by 360 multiplied by pi r square. What is the area of the triangle? It's an equilateral triangle there. All the sides are equal. All the three sides are equal. Angles are also equal, all 60 degrees. So it's going to be root 3 by 4 into side square. Root 3 by 4 into side square. Side is 1 square. Here also radius is what, children? Radius is also 1. So it's going to be like this. So I have here 60 by 360 will be 1 by 6. So it's going to be pi by 6. Minus here root 3 by 4. So this is area of one segment. As I told you in the starting itself, there are totally 8 segments there. 8 segments which make up the dotted region there. So area of 8 segments will be equal to 8 multiplied with pi by 6 minus root 3 by 4. And this is the area, it's going to be square units. So 8 multiplied with pi by 6 minus root 3 by 4. Option D is the correct answer. So question number 38. If 2 and half are the zeros of the polynomial px plus 5x plus r, then there are conditions p is equal to r or equal to 2. What? Which is true is asked in the question. 2 and half are the zeros of the polynomial. So px plus 5x plus r. So zeros means if I what is the sum of the zeros? Sum of the zeros is 2 plus half. Sum of the zeros is 2 plus half, which is minus b by, this is px square actually. It's a quadratic polynomial. Px square. So 2 and half are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Px square plus 5x plus r. So here a is p, children, b is 5, c is r. What is sum of zeros? 2 plus half is minus b by a, which is minus 5 by p. So here 2 plus half is 2 and a half, which is 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is minus 5 by p. Okay, now product of zeros. The zeros are 2 and a half. Product of zeros will be 2 into 1 by 2. It's going to be c by a. C is r, a is p. So r by p. So here 2 gets cancelled. So you have r equal to p. So what do you have? 5 gets cancelled. P is minus 2 you have. P is minus 2 you have. Here you have r equal to p. So if you connect both, what do you have, children? R equal to p and p is minus 2. So r equal to p equal to minus 2. R equals p equals minus 2, which is option B. R equals P equals minus 2, which is option B is the correct answer there. So we are going to the next question. 39th question. The circumference of a circle is 100 centimeters. The side of the square inscribed in a circle. So let us inscribe a square inside the circle given. I'm going to put a square inside the circle. Circumference of a circle is 100 centimeters. So let me draw the diagonal. Okay, so circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, children. Circumference of circle is 100. So which means 2 pi r is 100. What is 2r? 2r is going to be 100 divided by pi. So why am I finding 2r? 2r is actually the diameter of the, so you have the center here, r and r. So the diameter, 2r is the diameter of the circle. You should know that when the square is inscribed inside the circle, the diagonal of the square is nothing but the diameter of the circle. Diagonal of square equals diameter of the circle. What is the diagonal of the square? Diagonal of the square will be root 2 multiplied by side of the square. What is the diameter of the circle? 100 divided by pi. So now what is the side of the square? Because the question is only asking for the side of the square. So side of the square is 100 by pi, 100 by pi multiplied by root 2. But when you look at the options, we only have option B 100 by pi. And this option D is 100 root 2 by pi. So it doesn't match. So you need to do a small simplification here. So root 2 in the denominator should get cancelled, means 100 is nothing but 50 multiplied by 2. 100 is 50 into 2. So this is going to become 50 root 2 divided by pi, so that the root 2 in the denominator gets cancelled. So 50 root 2 by pi is the answer. So 50 root 2 by pi, option C. So we have the last question of section B, children. The number of solutions of 3 power x plus y equals 243. And 243 power x minus y equal to 3. So number of the equations. Number of solutions is asked in the question. So 3 power x plus y equals 200, and 243 is what, children? It is nothing but 3 power 5. So we can use the laws of exponents here. If the bases are same, you know that you can equate the powers. So x plus y will be equal to 5. And the second equation what I have is 243, again it is 3 power 5 multiplied with x minus y equals 3. So here also 3 power, when the bases are same, you can equate the powers. 3, meaning of 3 is nothing but 3 power 1. 3 is nothing but 3 power 1. So it's going to be 5 multiplied. I'm just equating the powers because the bases are the same. So 5 multiplied with x minus y equals 1. 5x minus 5y equals 1. So I have the equations. I have the two linear equations now. X plus y equals 5, 5x minus 5y equal to 1. When I look at the option says the number of solution is 0, 1, 2 and infinite. So let me use the conditions for whether it is a unique solution or infinite. So let me use the condition and see. So when I use the condition, I have what is my a1, b1 here, children? A1 is 1, b1 is also 1. Here a1, c1 is also, see, a1, b1, c1 is, let me write it for you. A1 is 1, b1. From this first linear equation, I have a1 to be 1, b1 to be 1, c1 to be minus 5. Here I have in the second linear equation, a1 is 5, a2 is 5, b2 is minus 5 and c2 will be minus 1. Now I will use the conditions of the pair of linear equations conditions I have. So I have a1 by a2 equals b1 by b2. So let me see, a1 by a2 is 1 divided by 5. b1 by b2 is 1 divided by minus 5. Is it equal, children? No. a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. So this condition means it is unique solution. So the lines are having unique solution. a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2 means it is the condition for unique solution. Unique solution meaning is what, children? Means one solution. Unique solution means one solution. So option B. Option B is the correct answer. Yes, children. So we have completed section A and section B of the sample paper 2022 term 1. So the remaining case study based questions of section C I will be continuing in my next video. If you like my video, you could also watch more videos in my channel and also do subscribe.